What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nintendo Memories, and today I just wanted to kind of touch on a really interesting topic that has just kind of been on my mind for a while, and I know a lot of people have debated it, have discussed it, whether if it's real or not. The Nintendo Switch Pro. Let's talk about it. So first off, I just gotta say, there have been so many leaks and insiders saying that this thing is real, and I guess the one thing that's all been on our minds is, if it's real, why hasn't it been announced? There could be a few simple reasons. And number one is definitely could be the chip shortage. Why announce a new piece of hardware if you aren't going to be able to meet the extremely high demand? I mean, if you show off a new powerful machine showing 4K graphics and just a much better system entirely than your current model, there's going to be some high demand for that. And if you can't meet that, why announce it? Number two, they don't want to cannibalize sales for the Switch OLED, especially since they just released the Splatoon 3 themed Switch OLED. They definitely wouldn't want to cannibalize sales for that. Number three, they could be saving it for the launch of Breath of the Wild 2. There's a lot of people saying that the reason why Breath of the Wild 2 was delayed was because of a Switch Pro tie into that. But I think there might be a bigger reason as to why we haven't seen or heard from the hardware side of Nintendo in a while, and I think it all has to do with Nintendo Switch Online. Now hear me out. How does this relate? Nintendo Switch Online, new hardware, how do these both coincide? Well, let me explain. So Nintendo said that they want at least 10 years of life out of the Nintendo Switch. And from the Switch's launch, Nintendo has had great games from day one. Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which continues to sell like gangbusters, Luigi's Mansion 3, the list goes on. One of the things that has not done so great or has been questionable since the launch of Switch is Nintendo Switch Online. Many people have had connection issues. Many people believe that the benefits that are given to subscribers, it's not worth it. But over time, Nintendo has slowly but surely tried to make it better. But let's look at so right now the Switch is 5 years old. It's, we're in 2022, the system launched in 2017. So it's been 5 years, and over the course of those first 5 years, Nintendo has brought over NES, SNES, N64, and there's been some free DLC added. Animal Crossing, Happy Home Paradise, and Mario Kart 8, the Booster Course Pass, and according to Nintendo, they still want 5 more years out of this thing. Now, of course, they will continue to make great games, that's no question. Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be amazing. Metroid Prime 4 is probably going to be amazing whenever we get to see it. But Nintendo Switch Online, they're going to have to improve this thing a little bit more over the course of the next 5 years if they want, more life out of this thing. And you guys are probably wondering, how does this work into the Nintendo Switch Pro? How does this work on Nintendo's next system? How does this work? Well, let's say that after, over the course of the next 5 years, we get Game Boy games. Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Apparently there was a leak from data miners saying that there was there's a Game Boy emulator that they found. So let's say that that's real, and that comes to Switch. So now we have Game Boy games. Let's say after another long wait, like Nintendo does, we finally get GameCube games. You could argue that they've already experimented with bringing Wii games over with Skyward Sword and Mario Galaxy and maybe Metroid Prime Trilogy if that ever happens. And they have brought over almost every best-selling game from the Wii U's library, minus Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD. They still need to do that. Why, Nintendo? Come on. If over the next 5 years Nintendo gives us GameCube games, Game Boy games, and we have the best parts of the Wii U's library and some of the best parts of the Wii's library, when it finally comes time for them to advertise the Switch Pro, or whatever they end up calling it, they won't just be able to advertise it as a more powerful machine, but they will be able to say that you can play all of Nintendo's library of systems in one place. How about it? The entire, the best of Nintendo's library, all in one place. The best Wii games, the best Wii U games, the best GameCube games, the best Game Boy, N64, you name it. all of Nintendo's best in one place. There will be extreme high demand if they go this way. And I think it's possible. I mean, it took a long time for us to get N64, but we eventually got it. And it's taking a long time for us to get to Game Boy, but I feel like that's eventually coming if data miners have found it. And it's going to take a long time. I mean, they're slowly drip feeding this stuff into Nintendo Switch Online, and I think it all has to do with the fact that they want this life cycle to go on as long as humanly possible, so that when it finally comes time for them to advertise this next piece of hardware, Switch Pro, Switch 2, whatever it is, they will be able to say, guess what? All of Nintendo's library of games. The best of Zelda, the best of Mario, the best of Metroid, the best of Donkey Kong, the best of all of Nintendo's flagship titles, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, everything, all of it on one brand new system. Would you buy it? I probably would. But I want to hear what you guys think. Do you guys think that this is why Nintendo might be holding out for a Nintendo Switch Pro? Comment below and let me know. Do you guys even think that this stuff is still real? I mean, I definitely believe the next piece of hardware exists, but whether or not it's called a Switch Pro or whatever, it's still up for debate. But comment below and let me know. And always, if you're new here, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.